What is up? It's the Figure Hunter, and today we're going to talk about the best watches that you can get for your money right now, looking for Black Friday, looking for Christmas shopping, somewhat categorized by what discounts you can get now, but more than that, categorized by what I think is a great watch that also might happen to be on sale for this Black Friday and Christmas shopping experience. So if you like this review, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing for more. If you're new to the channel, I test devices for higher intensity interval type training, as well as wellness and recovery and training load tracking. And all of our reviews are no fluff, just try to get straight to the point. Don't have time to do fancy edits. So obviously there's a ton of sports tracking watches on the market right now, and they all offer a different set of features, and they all profess and claim different things. And so when I look at a watch to determine its true value, it's got to have some basic components. Number one, it's got to have training load tracking. So the ability to keep up with the volume and rigor of the workouts you're doing. So it's got some sort of evaluation for workout rigor, and it's got some sort of evaluation for load that you placed on your body over the short term and comparing it to the long term. So some sort of evaluation for your training intensity and a projection of where you're headed in your fitness level. Second, I always track devices or only track devices with wellness and recovery. There's a couple left off this list because they don't have the wellness and recovery. In addition, there's a couple left off this list that don't have the in-depth training and training analytics. So those are the two primary tenets, especially if you're in today's world. It should offer a sort of a comprehensive or directionable wellness and recovery and sleep, as well as comprehensive and directionable training and training load tracking. So we're going to start at the least expensive and move our way to the top. So the least expensive is the Polar Pacer. That's not the Pacer Pro, because again, I'm testing devices for high intensity interval training or higher intensity workouts, and this just does those two basic components really well. It tracks your wellness and recovery really well, and it tracks your training load over time really well. It's both in a simple format. The wellness and recovery is a little bit more complex, which I actually really love. Their nightly recharge, and the training load is somewhat more one-dimensional, but it is a quality enough. And right now it's on sale for, I think the main black color is like $160. It's not the most rigorous, toughest feeling watch, but it definitely gets the job done across those components. Second to that is the Amazfit Balance coming in right now. I don't know what the Amazfit sale is right now, but the Amazfit Balance, originally $230, but it also tracks your wellness and recovery at a few different aspects, as well as your training load and your recovery time estimates, and even provides anaerobic training effect and aerobic training effect. But at $230 for a big, bold, beautiful AMOLED 1.4-inch screen and a long battery life, it is pretty phenomenal. And the new heart rate sensor on it has been definitely stepped up. And then the rest of the watches, when you get into the more competitive, higher level cost, right now they are all from Garmin. I will say that, Polar was left off, not as comprehensive as Garmin, and Coros was left off because it hasn't yet, although it's supposed to be, introducing more wellness and recovery metrics, specifically nightly HRV tracking. So those may introduce something. And then Suunto is on the scene and very competitive with the race, specifically the Suunto race watch, but it just doesn't beat the competition with what Garmin has to offer. So looking at the Garmin lineup, we're going to go through like what has a sale on it and what offers what value. So starting at the bottom with the Garmin Forerunner 255. So the 255 has a broad suite, has everything that you would want in the higher end watches, just doesn't have training readiness, doesn't have mapping, but it's right now $250. So it's highly competitive at that price. It's, just an incredibly good deal there. Next up behind it is the Instinct 2X. This is actually one of my favorite watches of all time. The Instinct Original, the Instinct 2, I did not like either of those because of the smaller screen and the more dim screen forecast. I couldn't read the details on the screens because it was both smaller and dim, but the 2X changed all that and gives a flashlight now. So the flashlight on top of all the wellness and all the training analytics that the Instinct Original didn't even include training analytics. So at $350, that is a great deal. Next up, you go pretty high up to the 955 at $400, the Garmin Forerunner 955. This is a really comprehensive watch for only 400, meaning it includes all the higher level advanced training analytics that Garmin offers, as well as it includes full mapping. Now, this is on the older screen technology, or what may be perceived as the older screen technology, the transflective display, memory, and pixel. But at $400 to have full mapping, full music, all the training analytics, and then obviously all the wellness and recovery analytics, that is a huge deal, 400 bucks. Next up would be the 265, and the 265 is sort of an odd recommendation in this space because it's $450 and it's not on sale. So the 265 is a big, beautiful screen with great battery life. So you think AMOLED, think Apple Watch-esque screen and great battery life on top. It doesn't have the mapping and doesn't have all the training aspects that the 955 or its big brother, the 965 has, but at $450, to be able to get a fully comprehensive and beautiful screen AMOLED watch, that is a good deal. Next up would be the Forerunner 965, and that hasn't gone on sale at all, and it's still a top in class at $600. It's got a 1.4 inch screen. It's like, the biggest screen that Garmin has on any of their watches. Like, nobody's bigger. They have other watches with 1.4 inch screen, but it's got the biggest screen, and it's got the full mapping, which the AMOLED screen really captures really well as the full tilt of higher level analytics and training. What you didn't hear me miss in this, as we pause right now, is you didn't hear me mention the Venue 3. The Venue 3 does not have advanced training analytics. It doesn't have the comprehensive set of workout analysis. It just has a very limited set there. So it's not something I would consider as comprehensive as you would want in today's standards. And then last up is the coup de grace, like the primary best in class, is the Fenix 7 Pro and the Epix Pro. Now notice I mentioned the Pro on both of those because that has a new heart rate sensor. It tracks ECG, as well as they all have flashlights. And I swear, if you're going to spend all this money on a watch, you definitely should get the flashlight because it's one of the most useful functional things I've ever had on a watch. So the Fenix 7 Pro has a series of different sizes. The Epix Pro has a series of different sizes, and they all offer the same suite of features and benefits, but some versions come with sapphire glass and titanium metal, titanium, construction, and the Epix comes with the AMOLED. So just in all the series of the sizes, they're going up the expense ladder, and then the Epix goes up the expense ladder by $100 more at each of the correlated sizes depending on which variant you get. So that is the broad set. That is the comprehensive list of watches. I didn't mention the Coros watches because they haven't yet introduced wellness aspects, and so that makes them not as competitive. They have some sleep tracking, but it doesn't give you any recommendations, doesn't give you any quality feedback on your recovery levels as well as your wellness levels. I didn't mention the new Polar Vantage V3 because it's not competitive compared to the 965. I would give an honorable mention to the Suunto Race. The Suunto Race has definite wellness and recovery aspects and definite training aspects. It just has one of the worst heart rate sensors. So that bumps it out of the running for a watch that I would purchase myself, and all the other watches I would purchase and use depending on the price category. The Race just isn't one of them because of the heart rate sensor being so not as reliable, in my opinion, especially compared to all the others that we just talked about. So take that for what it's worth. Hope you get great sales and great discounts. I at least just wanted to provide my 2 cents. This is not comprehensive. I didn't research every discount known to man, but there will be links in the description below where you can find some on discount and the discounts that I was able to find. So off to the races with shopping. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a good, happy Thanksgiving. And Vic Your Hunter, thanks so much for watching.